in this segment, we're going to be kind of looking at the moment Liz Truss realised her time as Prime Minister was over from the man in the room. So this is obviously Sir Graham Brady, the Tory Prime Minister killer. And I found it pretty interesting how kind of honest he was about the situation.
She asked me the question. She said, "It's pretty bad, isn't it?" To which I replied, "Yes, it is pretty bad." And she asked the second question, "Do you think it's retrievable?" And I said, "No, I don't think it is." And she replied that she didn't either. So it was I've had the unique distinction of having these conversations with three prime ministers now.
So three. I'm assuming he's talking about Theresa May, Boris Johnson, and Liz Truss. Or brain almost went there.
In many ways, it was the easiest and most straightforward because she had come to the same conclusion.
Well, that was actually what I was going to go on to ask you. Was it as easy with Boris Johnson?
Well, when I saw Boris the evening before he announced his resignation, he was at that point still determined to go on, and he mulled it over after that, and he called me early the next morning to say that he changed his mind.
So you can kind of see that Liz Truss, she must have looked at how bad the situation is and just thought, I'm done, aren't I? Because it was really bad. You had yields on bonds going up, the value of bonds going down. You had just general chaos, I think, within the country. It's just no one had faith in her. I think she must have lost faith in herself. She was so determined to be this Margaret Thatcher tribute act, a new Iron Lady. The lady is not for turning, but she just kept U-turning because it was never going to work. The books were never going to be balanced. We know that trickle-down economics doesn't work, and on top of that, she based the tax cuts on unfunded borrowing. I think it was never going to fly. It just doesn't make sense. And do I feel bad for it? No, I genuinely don't. I know it might seem bad because empathy is a very human trait, but this is a person who's caused a lot of damage to the UK, and let's not forget that her actions cost us £30 billion. She cost the mini budget alone cost the government around £30 billion, and the UK kind of gold standard on government bonds is gone. There are a lot of countries that look to buy government bonds, UK bonds, because they're seen as stable assets to have, and that idea is gone. The pension industry will have to change because they normally used to buy government bonds and then leverage it to buy more government bonds or buy other assets. But that's probably not going to happen as much now. I mean, the financial system in the UK is a house of cards, but on that day, there was a large part of the house of cards that fell. And so you can tell by Graham Brady, I think, he told... Let's go back, actually. Let's see how this conversation went. Just one more time. Because I'm not saying I revel in it, but I kind of do.
She asked me the question. She said, "It's pretty bad, isn't it?" To which I replied, "Yes, it is pretty bad." And she asked the second question, "Do you think it's retrievable?" And I said, "No, I don't think it is."
And there you go. She didn't believe it in herself that she'd be able to do it. I reckon if Sir Graham Brady told her, "Yeah, I think it's retrievable," she would have said right. But Graham Brady does represent the backbenchers of the party, and it's clear that when he told her it's irretrievable, I don't know if he was talking on behalf of himself or on behalf of the 1922 committee, but it was clear the game was over for Liz Truss. And yeah, she's an epic clown. She gave us great meme moments such as pork markets in China and cheese, and that's a disgrace. But she's also the person who tanked the economy and made the austerity 2.0 budget a lot worse. And thanks to her, we have Jeremy Hunt as Chancellor still. And James Cleverly was made Foreign Minister, and Kwasi Kwarteng was also Chancellor. They tried to... I don't want to go a turn back into a premiership because it was just a nightmare. Covering that stuff was a nightmare. Probably get numb flashbacks from remembering how many stories just kept coming out about the Truss premiership. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.